I think a good leader is a man who knows what has to be done and sets about to do it. But he also has to know about the people that he's got to do it with.
If you're not liking a guy and you know he's got the ability to lead you, you don't care whether you like him or dislike him. First of all, guts. Second of all, brains.
A lot of guts.
You ain't got the brains, you don't belong there.
A lot of guts.
Because you're going to take men with you when he gets killed.
You don't want them to, you want to take no men, no matter if they hate you or not. You want to get them in alive and get them out alive.
You got to look up to the guy and like him. If you don't look up to him and like him, you're not going to go with him. And then everybody tells you any different. They're talking through their head.
Stood the convoy from America. To the troops aboard spoke their commander, General Patton.
Soldiers and sailors, it is not known whether the French African army will contest our landing. But all resistance, by whomever offered, must be destroyed. However, when any of the French soldiers seek to surrender, you will accept it and treat them with the respect due a brave opponent and future ally. Remember, the French are not Nazis or Japs.
Hello, and welcome once again. J76NY here, and welcome to the first episode of a brand new series on a brand new game. The game is Burden of Command, which I was lucky enough to receive a pre-release copy of, so thank you very much to Green Tree Games and Luke Hughes. The game is like nothing I've ever played and probably nothing you've ever watched. It is more than just your standard war game. It is kind of borderline, not even really a war game. The game is described as being a tactical leadership RPG, where you play as, in our case, we're going to be playing as Lieutenant J of the Cotton Balers. We are going to be leading our men through World War II from start to finish, and the decisions we make along the way affect just about everything, from the way your subordinates react to you in battle to the way your superiors react to you and everything in between. I did do a first look on the game a couple months ago, I think it was, and that was the tutorial / bootcamp version of it. So if you would like to check that out, I will link that in the description down below, as well as at the end of this video. I highly recommend you do check that out. The tutorial is very well made, very descriptive, and does a good job of explaining some of the differences between this game and your standard bang, bang, bang war game. I guess that's the way it's been described. I've heard Luke use that term a couple times. He was a guest on the Critical Moves podcast, which I listened to today, actually, as me and my family made our way up to the zoo. He was also a guest on the very, very good World War II podcast called We Have Ways of Making You Talk with John McManus, Al Murray, and James Holland. It's one of my regular podcasts I've got in my rotation. John McManus is one of my favorite World War II historians and authors. I've read several of his books, and he speaks very highly of the game. Armchair Historian has played this game on his channel. THG has a pretty involved series going on it. Unfortunately, I can't watch those. I have a rule that I try and follow, that when some of my favorite YouTubers are playing the same games that I am. I try and avoid watching their stuff so that it doesn't affect my own gameplay or give away any of the story. So it can be torturous at times, but I think it is a wise move. Game does release on the 8th of April, which is going to be a few days away. We are going to be starting our journey now. A little bit of introduction here. We are under Captain Lamb in Nickel Company. This is us right here. I did go with the mindset of Doctrine. Doctrine is one of the mindsets you can choose. This is one of the parts of the game that we are going to be figuring out as we go. But from what I understand, if you try and take actions that are outside of your mindset, like I think Doctrine, if you try and improv your moves or go against what is standard procedure, you may get some type of penalty for it. But this gave us an extra order. The game works on orders similar to the action points of other war games and all that, although it does have some serious differences in the way it works, and we'll see that as we go through. We do have first squad, first platoon, second squad, and third squad here. This is more a story than a war game, so I'm not going to babble very much more here other than to say that if you are new here, welcome. If you would like to join me through my journey through World War II, hit the subscribe and we will go through it together. Always, as always, your thoughts are welcome in the comments below. Any tips you can give are more than welcome. I do take tips seriously. Even though I may not always follow them, I do keep them in mind. So let's continue our journey.
Finally, on the 5th day, we got the news. I mean, what we'd been waiting to hear. They handed out little guidebooks. I remember the first line: "You are to do duty in North Africa as a soldier of the United States."
We were green as grass. Thought that just being on that shit was
Okay, it's November 8th, 1942, off the coast of Morocco. It's been 4 hours since you loaded up. The men have long since given up being dry, let alone warm. The platoon hunkers down in the grumbling belly of the landing boat, huddled together in the moonless dark. Sprays of ocean waves surge over the bow. The rumble of the engine pitches upward. The boat enters yet another slow turn, and the agony of the delay spreads across the tense faces of your green troops. Higgins boats, which are these things over here, would circle around and around until orders came to proceed. They would be formed up, and if you were one of the first guys in the first Higgins boat waiting to make an amphibious assault, that must have been absolutely torturous. One thing I want to say about the game is they have really strived to keep historical accuracy and realism to a max here, which is pretty cool. So, dim red light flickers. The coxswain, a young man in dark blue dungarees, leans forward at the control deck to inspect a fuel gauge with a filtered flashlight. He taps the glass cover with a worried look on his face, then returns his attention to the dark seas. With both hands, he shifts the control wheel to keep the boat steady amid a flotilla of landing craft whose engines are far quieter than your own. Step beside the coxswain and examine the fuel gauge. Increases the rapport with the coxswain. Lean back and let the coxswain work. That increases trust by 2. and this one increases trust by 5, which I am going to go with. I did lean towards trust during the tutorial, so I tried to build up the trust between me and my men pretty high. The coxswain stares over the top of your men and across the bow, intent on the seas ahead. Behind him lie the silhouettes of the invasion fleet, black against the starlit sky. White waves surge as other landing boats make a radical turn. Engines deepen their growl in the distance. The coxswain throttles up. Check in with my squad leaders, boost trust by 1. See if Private Roberts has held down his Navy chow. Talk with Private Hancock. An even chance of trust plus 4, trust plus 3. Morris and Patterson probably have a joke ready. A low chance of trust plus 10. Let's check in with our squad leaders. Crosley, Corporal Nowakowski, and Preto of 2nd and 3rd Platoon respectively likewise tip their salt-encrusted helmets to show that they're focused and ready. A rumble like a freight train passes overhead. Fountain of water bursts into the night sky. White flashes shatter the darkness of the shore. Shells scream overhead towards the transports you left behind. Private Roberts hastily recovers from puking over the side. Nice. Apparently his late breakfast didn't settle too well. Understandable. Sergeant Grant leans over to the private and asks loudly above the din, "You all right, Roberts?" Oh, another thing that happened was at the end of our combined arms training, one of our sergeants, Sergeant Bennett, that got kind of run over by a tank. Tank got stuck in the mud, and as it was reversing, Sergeant Bennett didn't notice that it was coming right for him. I, being the selfless leader that I am, tried to save his life. I did manage to save his life, but he got run over by a tank nonetheless, and I got to see a very grisly picture of a severed foot. Awesome. I also lost a finger, but they didn't show a picture of it, so I gave blood for the safety of my men. Sergeant Bennett is now probably out of action, having half a foot and all, so he's done for this war. "How could I not be?" Private Roberts replies. He tries out a weak smile, clearly more for Grant's benefit than his own. "I'm off that rusty bathtub of a ship, and no one shot me yet. This is about as good as it gets, Sarge." Private Hancock edges to Roberts' side. "Come up front. The air's better up there. Trust me." Hancock waits for your approval before he grasps Roberts' shoulder and guides his friend towards a place at the bow. The engine sputters, dying down to a low rumble. You turn to see the coxswain heaving the wheel of the helm with all his might, eyes wide in terror. You lurch to the side as the boat goes into a hard turn away from the shore. Sergeant Grant helps you stand back up. "What the hell is that swabby doing?" Grant asks as the boat keeps turning. "We've got to get onto the beach or else the rest of Nickel Company will be screwed when they try to land." "Shove the coxswain from the helm." I am not going to do that. Brandish my carbine at the Navy man. That's drastic as fuss. Or trust that the coxswain not screw things up. I am not a Navy man in this playthrough, so I'm going to let the Navy guy do his thing. The coxswain reaches for the throttle and the engine roars back to life. He jerks the wheel over. Something dark beneath the water flashes past on either side. Ahead, another boat capsizes, spilling its human cargo into the sea. You hear Captain Lamb shout out above the din as your boat zips past. The coxswain slows the engine, turns the wheel hard once, twice, then throttles up once more. A sonorous vibration ripples through the wood beneath your feet. Close one. What the hell was that? Let him drive or pilot or whatever this is. Are we getting torpedoed or something? Something dark beneath the water flashes past on either side. I'm kind of curious what that was. A reef. Ah, okay. Not on the maps. The coxswain says tensely, never taking his gaze from his task. Madre de Dios, I'm glad it's past. Okay. The vibration slowly fades. He takes a deep breath, clears his throat, and at last looks at you. 100 yards from landing, Lieutenant. What once seemed like a pale line on the horizon is now a vast expanse of starlit sand. Africa has a reef mostly along its eastern and southern coast. Mostly. Morocco is a treacherous exception. We will be exposed until we reach the dunes. We must move fast, move inland. Countless drills were for this moment. We must move fast, we must move inland. The hull shudders beneath you. The coxswain throttles back the engines, and in the quiet afterwards he yells, "Debark now!" "I see sand," Private Hancock yells from the bow and then leaps over the side. Let's get moving. You leap over the side into frigid, waist-deep waters. Your men follow. Okay. Withdrawal disabled. Consider what? Where'd it go? Alright. The moment you drop onto the surf, the chill of the ocean numbs your toes. The awful stink of gasoline thickens the air as you struggle onto the sand. All around lie wrecked boats and sprawled men. And I have to say about those sprawled men, I have no faith in my own ability to do what these guys did. Reading about the D-Day landings, reading about Operation Torch, it's a different kind of human that lived back then than what we have now, myself included. I don't know if I would be able to do it, so games like this that kind of bring this to life is really, really important now, especially when there's so few of them left that actually lived through this. And, you know, the games, the books, the movies, anything that brings awareness to the trials, tribulations, and sacrifices of that generation is very much needed. So this is one big snafu, Patterson grouses as he crawls forward, belly against the sand. Half the French army's shooting at me. Gee, Morris replies as he hugs the beach just a few feet away. Maybe they're tired of your flapping gums already. It's nice to see these guys can still crack jokes. These guys, Private First Class Patterson and Private First Class Morris, they seem to be pals. They popped up in the boot camp tutorial. Always making jokes. Kind of the guys that they seem to be the fun of the company here. But we are going to be facing off against the French. That's the thing about Operation Torch, is they really had no idea what the French were going to do once they went ashore. They didn't know if they were going to throw down their arms, surrender, greet the Americans with open arms and join them, or fight for the Nazis. And it wasn't fight with the Nazis by any means. It was fighting for the Nazis. You blink aside the sting of salt spray and spy a huddle of men just a few yards off. Sergeant Grant is among them, his features etched by flashes of distant gunfire. "Lieutenant," Sergeant Grant calls to you, "first and second squads are here, but third squad scattered itself good. Can't even find Roberts. 20-odd men from your platoon. A bare 2 squads of queasy salt-splashed soldiers." Not enough. Where's the rest of the company? Or, like Patterson said, snafu. Where's the rest of the company? Wow. Wherever the rest of Nickel Company is, that isn't here. Corporal Crosley passes his BAR to his assistant, then recovers a 30 cal that dangles over the side of a wrecked boat, adopting it as into his own personal arsenal of democracy. I like it. Just like that, you've got a machine gun support. Always handy. Ocean waves crash in, drenching your men afresh. You have to get them moving. Off the beach, let's go, let's go. It removes the fog of war. Excuse me. 3rd Squad, 1st Platoon, rally on me. Shout a prepared surrender demand to the French. It reduces French morale. So this would give us the ability to see what we're up against. This would rally the 3rd Squad. Rally is one of the orders that you can give. It, I think it would remove suppression, if I remember right here. Or we could reduce the French morale. Morale plays a big part in this game. I'm going to call on the French to throw down their arms. Scripted French spills from your lips and blares across the beach with the aid of a weighty naval megaphone. From the darkness, a curse in French is shouted. A burst of machine gun rounds follow. Apparently they didn't listen to me. Your men huddle atop the wet sand until the fire lifts. One thing is for certain, the French are not easily impressed. A figure abruptly strides ashore. Close, sorry. In the flare of the distant guns, you catch sight of an American helmet bearing a set of silver oak leaves. Lieutenant! The lieutenant colonel calls as he forges his way towards you, heedless of the chaos all around. Lieutenant Colonel Roy Moore, commander of the 1st Battalion of the 7th Infantry Regiment, looks really young. Colonel, sir, salute. Or just stare at him. I don't want to get him killed, so I'm not going to salute him, and I don't think staring at him is really... We'll go with this one. Blah, blah. Not that big of a decision. I got to really force myself not to overthink every single decision that I'm presented with here. That I am. Lieutenant Colonel Moore replies evenly as a salvo of shells scream overhead. I don't recognize you, son. Who are you with? The metallic rattle of a machine gun fills the air once more. A panicked scream arises, high and raw before being cut short. I'm with Nickel Company. Oh, I'm with you, sir. Sarcasm +1. We're the Pathfinders for 3rd Battalion. 1st Platoon, Nickel Company, 3rd Battalion. It gives us verbosity and directness +1. I did kind of lean away from the verbosity route in the tutorial, so that does nothing. I think I'm actually going to go with this one. We're going to identify ourselves to the guy. I know the rundown, Lieutenant Colonel Moore replies sharply. You may be with the 3rd, but right now you're working for me. Understood? Yes, sir. Excellent. Lieutenant Colonel Moore replies. That kind of scared the shit out of me. Right now, I need you to lead these men like back in OCS. Afterwards, if you... The crack of machine gun fire drowns out whatever the lieutenant colonel was going to say next. He stabs a finger towards the flashes on a rise that overlooks the beach. Go get that son of a bitch before he stitches up more of my men. That is definitely in order, and here we go. So there's 2 parts to every battle, every scenario, whatever you want to call them. You have the mission, which is this one, take possession of the machine gun, and then you have the men. You can get victories or defeats in either or both at the same time. The men, this is all part of how the game is different. Like, are you going to lead more in terms of get the mission done no matter what the cost, or am I going to be more of a kind of a McClellan and worried about getting my men killed at the expense of the mission? So mission is take the machine gun position, and the men suffer no more than light casualties. Okay, so this is us right here. Just real briefly, the 4 little dots you see are the orders that you can give. So Lieutenant J has 4 orders that he can give. In order to move any of these squads, we have to activate them, which costs an order, and then movement also costs an order. So we have to take this position up here. We have Lieutenant Colonel right here. The higher-ups have the ability to, like, if I wanted to bolster my men, I have to be in the same hex as them. The higher-ups, like the Lieutenant Colonel here and the Captain Lamb when he shows up, they can be in an adjacent hex. So, right now, we can move in this general direction here. Kind of move directly, but from what it looks like, oh, they've got worse sight than we do. All right. Second squad is a little better off. So I am going to have them... Do I want to approach direct? I'm going to have them move. Nearby fires at landing craft. That's the objective up there. Recon by fire and weapon range. See, I don't know if there's anything down here, so... we got our machine gun right here. I don't think we have line of sight on them, though, so... we don't. See where a good line of sight would be. Yeah, it'd be better to be down there. Let's see, these guys are already a little... Let's get Jay and first squad out. Here. Alright, so we do have sight on enemy cav squad right here. Let's get the machine gun, see if the machine gun... Oh, they can. Okay. They're surprised.
Keep it up! Qu'est-ce qu'ils foutent là?
Hunkers
Pourquoi on se
down.
bat contre eux?
So Jay has 2 more. Let's bolster these guys.
Ready?
I'm going to get them up into this house here. Let's set the waypoints.
Keep firing. Move out!
Alright, so now Jay is spent, so he cannot do anything else.
Contact!
I'm going to rally this squad here.
Stay down.
Okay, they can't move, but...
Move!
Can we attack again? I think we can. What's up here?
We're taking fire!
I'm going to try and suppress these guys.
Dégage! On a déjà suffisamment d'emmerdes! Stay down.
Alright.
Reloading.
Alright, so he can move now. I don't know if I want to move him or leave him with the machine gun.
I think I got one.
I could move him up. These guys see if I can assault them. Too far. But we can move them up. I'm wondering if I move the Lieutenant Colonel up. I think I'm going to hold him back here for now. We'll move you. Have you come like this. Wait. There, just like that. Alright, so they're spent.
Stay online.
Yeah, we're going to have to end the turn here. We've only got 4 turns to complete this scenario here.
Move up.
Now the first squad is a little low on the morale side.
Hit the dirt.
But we're looking pretty good. Here, I'm going to have...
Keep it up.
He's going to use one of Jay's orders.
Reloading.
Let's have them fire on them again. I think they're already fairly suppressed, but
Ne prendre pas la pipe.
they're still suppressed. All right. Let's have them charge. Take this out. It's a pretty good,
What the hell?
What just happened here? They didn't do it? Rally. Okay, we bolstered.
Come on!
Can we move out? Yeah, alright, let's make the assault. Go. I want these guys to assault here. We've got the initiative.
Keep firing. Not possible, sir.
Why?
On your right.
Alright. Alright, so Jay spent all his orders. Let's get everybody moved up over here. I'm gonna leave this one squad back. We should be able to. Bolster. Unit movement points +2. We'll bolster them. But I don't think I can get them to do anything. Alright.
L'honneur est exigeant.
Oh, they rallied. We only got 3 turns left. Oh boy. I really want to just assault the position. Alright, bolster.
Listen up.
And then attack. I don't understand why we're not attacking
Suppress
here.
and fire.
Maybe take command. We should be able to attack him. Charge. Hey, they surrendered. Sweet. Alright, we still have actually one more order we can do. I wonder if I can move the captain up here. Let's try and just... Alright, they did bolster their guys. We took some hits here. I wonder if we could actually attack them. Let's try it with second squad here. Assault them.
No good, sir.
Nope, didn't work. I'm gonna move you right up to him. We'll blast him with a machine gun if need be. They did bolster, but we don't have any more orders left here. Alright, this is the objective. I'm going to bolster these guys, actually. Let's bolster them. And the machine gun. Take command. We're taking fire from above where I'm daunted, though. Now we're going to send in our squad here. Go get them.
Frag out.
Man, they're holding. They surrendered. Sweet. Take the objective. There we go. First victory. Very good. You hurry over to the now empty enemy position. That machine gun of theirs is still there, though. Several of your men mutter to themselves as you pass, griping about your late arrival. But I was right there. Okay. All right, so that was a major victory for the men with very light casualties. We earned 11 loyalty. In a minor victory, the position was captured. We earned 12 loyalty on that. So that was the first mission in Burden of Command, and we have nobody out of action. I am going to call this first episode here. Very short, very sweet, very small map. The tutorial had some pretty big maps with a lot of ground to cover, and a couple of them had several objectives, so this was kind of a refreshing, nice little way to start out our story here as we land on the shores of Morocco. Anyway, that's going to do it for the premiere episode of our Burden of Command playthrough. If you want to help the channel and this video get a little of the exposure that the YouTube algorithm doesn't like to give out, ways you can do that: hit the like button, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you would like to share this video out there, that also helps too. Like I said at the beginning, if you are not subscribed, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I wouldn't mind having you come along with us. Channel memberships are available. If you hit the join button, that would be very much appreciated. No obligation, of course. And Discord and Twitter links are in the channel description. We will pick this up in episode number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Burden of Command. J76NY saying thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a very good day.